In this video, I'm going to break down your open turn into 2 simple steps. This is going to make your turn easier and faster without adding hardly any extra effort. And stick around to the end where I'm going to reveal my secret to getting extra open turn practice every day at your workout. Let's get into it. What's up guys, I'm CoachMattZ. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking open turns, and to get things started, I'm gonna break down what an open turn is and what it should look like. When I say open turns, what I mean is any turn that's not a flip turn. So a fly to fly turn, fly to back, breast to free, or back to breast if you're doing an IM. And with these turns, we have to touch the wall with our hands before we can actually start the turn. Unlike in a flip turn where we don't actually have to touch the wall with our hands. So let's go through what it should look like, or at least close to what it should look like, with a couple of videos of me doing a breaststroke to breaststroke turn. And I'm gonna break it down into 2 simple parts for you. So let's start with this video of me doing some breaststroke here. Now I'm gonna get me a little closer to the wall. We're swimming breaststroke into the wall here. It's really important that we end on a nice long stroke, okay? So looking good there, pretty well extended. One thing I would change about this is I wish my eyes were looking down a little bit more. We got the head looking up at the wall. I really should be looking down here, okay? Now, as we go through this turn, we're gonna start off, this will be part 1 of your turn. And one of the things we used to say when I was coaching little kids is there was 2 parts. There was elbow your brother and call your mother. Now, as the father of 3 boys, this hits a little too close to home, but it is a really good way to remember how to do this turn. So we're gonna start the first part. It starts here and it goes through the elbow your brother phase. So I'm gonna show you here as the hands touch the wall, the elbow is gonna drive back. Doesn't matter which elbow, whichever one you wanna do, that elbow drives back, and the knees are gonna drive up towards your chest. Okay, and you can't see it here. We'll do an above the water video in a second, but we wanna keep our eyes looking at the hand that's on the wall. So that's the elbow your brother. Right there, okay? Feet come up to the wall, and right there, that's the end of part 1. So we got our feet on the wall. Now I'm going through it kind of fast, but we got our feet on the wall. The hand should be on the wall or at least close to the wall here, and we're ready for part 2. So now when we look at part 2 here, we're gonna go from this position, and this position is what I call ready position, okay? So if you're doing ready position, you'd still have your hand on the wall, something you could do before you push off the wall all the time, anytime you're pushing off the wall, whether you're in the middle of an open turn or just pushing off for a new set or whatever. Start in your ready position here. So one hand on the wall, your eyes should be on the wall. Okay, you got one hand underwater, the other one is gonna come over the top. Now the over the top part of your open turn, that is the call your mother part. Okay, so you got the elbow your brother part done. So part 2 is gonna be the call your mother. You'll see it a little bit more when we are up above water, but that hand's gonna come over the top of your head. It's gonna go behind your head. It's gonna meet up with your opposite hand into a nice streamline. We're gonna push off as hard as we can, extend and rotate. Okay, so those are the 2 parts when we're underwater. All right, let's look at it again from above the water. Okay, we're doing breaststroke to breaststroke again here again. So remember, we want to end on a nice perfect stroke, not too long, not too short, not bad there. Let's check it out again. Yep, okay, looking pretty good. I'm a little low on the hips there. Eyes are a little high. That's probably causing my hips to sink a little bit. I need to get my head down as I'm coming into the wall. Something to work on, okay? As I go through part 1, this is that elbow your brother part, driving the elbow back, bringing the knees up, head staying pretty low there. Okay, not pulling myself up too high. Now, part 1 of the turn is done. I got my feet up towards the wall, my hand up towards the wall. Okay, now it's time to move on to part 2. Okay, that's the call your mother. You'll be able to see it a little bit more here. And there we go. The hand's gonna come over the top, meet up behind my head with the other hand, and then a nice push off into a streamline. Okay, so let's watch it again. We're gonna do it just regular speed so you can see it. Coming in. Boom, and that's just about what we were looking for here. All right, so I know that sounds like a lot. It may feel a little bit easier said than done, but I'm gonna break it down for you, and I'm gonna teach you how you can practice each part of the turn with a little drill progression. We're gonna start by working on part 1 of the turn, and to do that, we're gonna start on the wall. If you have a gutter, you can grab onto the gutter. If not, you can grab onto the coping on the side of the pool. You're gonna put your head down, let your feet rise up to the surface. This is the body position we wanna be in when you start your turn. Mine is grabbing onto the gutter or the coping, but that's something we can work on in another video. When you're ready, you're going to drive one elbow back and bring both knees quickly up towards your chest and get your feet on the wall. Your toes should be pointed up or maybe a little bit to the side. Your head should stay low with your eyes looking at the wall. The position you end up here is called ready position, and remember that because we're going to talk about it again later. Practice this a few times until you get the hang of it. It may look easy, but if you've never done it before, it might take you a few tries to get it down. And I want you to make sure you have part 1 of the turn down before we move on to part 2. All right, guys, I'm just going to pause the video for a second right here to let you know about a really cool promo I got going on with Finis. Right now, you can get 20% off all Finis gear if you use the code CoachMattZ. So if you guys are looking for new equipment like snorkels, paddles, fins, suits, you name it, go to finisswim.com and load up that gear bag. Now back to the video. Now we're going to work on the second part of the turn, the push-off. So starting in the position we ended the last drill in, ready position, you're going to scoop your extended arm to help sink you underwater. Then you'll bring your other arm behind your head like you're answering the phone, call your mother. Your hands should meet up behind your head and your arm should extend into that streamline. Then you'll simply push off the wall and rotate onto your front side and start your underwaters. Again, practice this a few times until you get comfortable with it. The biggest issue I see with people is not sinking deep enough. So make sure you scoop that hand hard enough to get your whole body underwater and push straight off the wall so you can streamline out to the flags. This is another one that looks easy but can be a little tricky if you've never done it before or haven't worked on it before. So for this next part, we're going to add the approach into the wall and do something I like to call a broken open turn. So starting from about halfway, you're going to swim either breaststroke or butterfly into the wall. Make sure your last stroke into the wall is a good one, not too long, not too short. Once you hit the wall, we're going to try to quickly get into ready position like we practiced earlier by driving your elbow back fast and bringing your knees up. Your toes should hit the wall pointing up or to the side. At this point, you're going to want to pause and make sure that everything is in the right position. If all is good, then we can push off the wall like we practiced earlier. You'll scoop the water with that extended arm, sink your body underwater, and bring the other arm over the top behind your head. Squeeze into a good streamline and push off the wall as hard as you can. I want you to do this a few times, and as you get more comfortable with it, make the pause shorter and shorter. Once you get to a turn that has no pause in it, that's your open turn. Now that you've got that open turn down, it's important that you focus on them at every workout. The cool thing about open turns is you actually get a lot of opportunities to work on them. Anytime you do more than one length of butterfly or breaststroke is an opportunity to improve. And make sure you stay focused on them even when you're tired, because if you can do it when you're tired in a workout, you can do it when you're tired in a race. As promised, I've got a secret tip for you to get extra turn practice at every workout. A great way to practice your open turn is to always push off the wall from ready position. If you do that every time you leave the wall, you'll be working on the second half of your open turn. So no matter what stroke you're doing, before you leave the wall, get set up in your ready position and push off like you're doing that open turn. There you have it, guys, my simple 2-step breakdown for the open turn. If you can improve your open turn, you have the potential to shave tons of time off your swims. It's an easy way to improve your times in your races or your paces at workouts. And the best part is it doesn't take hardly any extra effort. Take your time, get it down, and you'll start swimming faster before you know it.